It's almost 40 years since Mercedes first launched the G-Class SUV. Its iconic shape has barely changed since launch and has undoubtedly contributed to its unprecedented success. But for 2018, the rough and rugged 4x4 has undergone its most significant transformation ever. While it might not look that different, this new G-Class gets a new body, new suspension, new chassis, new steering, new gearbox, new engines, new driver assistance systems, which altogether Mercedes says will make this better to drive. The subtly revised design retains almost all of the G-Class's iconic features, including the bonnet top indicators, visible door hinges, boot-mounted spare tyre and protruding wheel arches. The boxy shape remains, of course, with a similarly upright windscreen and characteristically square doors. Of course, by building a new G-Wagon from the ground up, Mercedes has grabbed an opportunity to completely overhaul the interior. It's far more luxurious inside here and it's filled with all the latest tech. Mercedes has lifted some of the details from the old car over to the new one. These include the chrome switchgear as well as this dash-mounted grab handle. The dials though, they're completely different. They're taken from the E-Class and the S-Class, and just like those cars, can be operated via the touch-sensitive buttons on the steering wheel. All UK cars get a fully digital dashboard, comprising two 12.3-inch screens, complete with Merc's intuitive command infotainment system. Every model gets a Burmester stereo, 64-colour ambient lighting, and 3-zone climate control, as well as a 360-degree parking camera, LED headlights, and an electronic sunroof. The only model available at launch will be this, the Mercedes AMG G63. Now, while that might seem like a bit of a strange starting point, it accounted for 62% of all sales in the UK on the previous generation car. Here, it uses the familiar 4-litre turbo V8, producing 577 brake horsepower. The sheer size and weight of the G-Class means Merc's engineers have restricted the top speed to 137 miles an hour, although the optional AMG driver's package raises this to 149 miles an hour. The 4.5-second 0-62 mile an hour time is unaffected. On the road, the new G-Class is a massive improvement on the old one. That's not to say it's the last word in precision or in driver involvement, but it's a huge step up over what it was before. While before you might hold on for dear life as you approach a fast corner, that threat of imminent death seems to have completely disappeared. This AMG version is simply ballistic as well. Those side exit exhausts provide a suitably chaotic soundtrack, and the way it accelerates is just astounding. You find a straight piece of road, point, and shoot. Oh! But don't think by making it better to drive on-road that Mercedes has forgotten what it's like to drive off-road. We tried some really challenging off-road courses earlier, and it was, frankly, astounding. With help from its 3 differential locks, the G-Wagon is still unrivaled off-road. There's more ground clearance and it'll weigh 10 centimetres deeper than before. Approach, tilt and breakover angles have all improved too, while a special G mode engages the low transfer gearbox, ensuring unflappable traction over loose ground. Of course, stopping a 2.5-ton SUV is no mean feat, and despite its big brakes, driving a G-Class quickly can be quite challenging. Corners approach faster than you might expect, which means shaving speed isn't as easy as you might like. Match that to the vague steering and you quickly realise that it's a car that requires a little bit more forethought and a little bit more anticipation. It will come as no surprise that something this heavy and bluff-sided will return just 21 miles per gallon on a good day. The fact it emits 299 grams per kilometre of CO2 means this AMG sits in the highest tax bands both for company car drivers and private buyers. A plug-in version is due later down the line, which should help lower running costs. Space in the back is fine, but it's not as big as a Range Rover. Adequate knee room and headroom is okay, but the good thing is there's not really much of a transmission tunnel in the middle, so someone of 6 foot tall can happily sit here. All cars get 3-zone climate control as well, so you'd be more than comfortable enough back here. The G-Class is bigger in every direction, which means it's more practical overall. However, you still get this bulky spare wheel and side hinge tailgate, which means parking and loading things on tight city streets is going to prove quite difficult. The G-Class continues to appeal to the same people it appealed to before, so the chances are if you wanted one previously, you'll still want one now. Old school charm meets new school tech,
This is exactly what Mercedes wanted it to be.